This Lionel Richie adoption story is frighteningly unsettling.
I went to a Prince concert, and there on the stage in the middle of the Prince concert was a 4-year-old kid playing a tambourine. So I went backstage, and I knew the mother, and I knew the father, and of course they were having difficulties with their relationship. And I said, well, while you all are having this difficulty, the kid is sitting out here in limbo. So I tell you what I'll do. Just put the kid in my house until the tour is over with, and then we'll sort this out later.
Classic move by Lionel Richie. You're a rich dude, you see a struggling family, but they have a 4-year-old that you really want. So what do? You don't offer help to the family. You just say, hey, you know what? Why don't I take your 4-year-old off your hands? I could use a 4-year-old in my life.
It took about maybe a year for me to just, fall in love. Well, I fell in love, and she was a little button. And of course, by that time I was dad.
Totally normal behavior from Lionel Richie to get a 4-year-old to start calling you dad when you're not her dad and you haven't adopted her. And by the way, Nicole Richie as an adult does not refer to Lionel Richie as her dad.
And so I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to make everyone wish they adopted you. You're going to make everyone in your family wish they actually had a chance to get you back. And that's when I said, let's adopt her. And the rest is beautiful.
Beautiful story, Lionel, isn't it? Yeah, you just dangle a little kid in front of her family. Oh, I bet you want her back, don't you? But she's mine now. Isn't that so beautiful? The fact that Lionel Richie could just go on national television in the early 2000s and tell this story with zero scrutiny, and for decades, people have repeated this story as if it's a beautiful tale to tell. It's actually just mind-blowing. It's such a clear example of how the adoption industry has infiltrated the collective consciousness and poisoned us with this idea that adoption is just always a good thing. Adoption at its core is the destruction of struggling families in service of building families for people who have more money. Like, the way we look at adoption as a society is just so twisted. We don't empathize with Nicole or her family. We empathize with Lionel Richie, the person who wants to separate this family because he wants a 4-year-old girl. Lionel Richie had the money to help this family raise their child. Or we could have created a public social safety net that helped this family raise the child. But instead of doing these things, because we don't believe that poor people or struggling families deserve to raise their children, we don't have a social safety net. And instead, we send kids to people like Lionel Richie because they're rich, and that must be a better life than the girl growing up with her own parents. And when adopted people like Nicole struggle with addiction and other issues, we don't look into the source of those issues. We don't question whether being removed from your parents as a child could contribute to those challenges in life. No, instead, we pat people like Lionel Richie on the back for quote-unquote saving them. It's weird because it seems like none of Nicole's issues really surfaced until after she was removed from her family and adopted by Lionel Richie. But yet, Lionel Richie is the one who's saving her from these struggles in life. How does any of that make sense?